All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into a really fascinating step-by-step training drill designed for mastering high-stakes security. Today, we're unpacking some incredible insights from Ekadayo's comprehensive Security and Safety Mastery Guide. So whether you are walking onto your very first shift as a new officer, or you're a seasoned veteran looking to sharpen your tactical edge, going through these principles will completely rewire how you view your everyday responsibilities. Let's dive right in. Here is our training syllabus for today. We'll start with establishing the baseline, move into proactive defense, master verbal judo, execute the drill, and finally, learn what it takes to truly wear the badge.
Let's kick things off with Phase 1, the baseline. This is where we establish our mental foundation.
Ekadayo drops a truth bomb right out of the gate, challenging us to totally rethink the role from the exact second you put that uniform on. It's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of thinking your job is simply to stand by a door and, well, exist. But you are not just a warm body in a uniform. You are an active, disciplined protector. Just being present, that's passive. Awareness is active. True mastery actually begins the second you realize your mind needs to be fully engaged with your environment.
It's really fascinating how Ekadayo breaks down this complex professional distinction into a super simple analogy. People use security and safety interchangeably all the time, but there's a huge difference. Security is all about threat protection, dealing with intentional malicious actions, like locking out an intruder or monitoring a perimeter. Safety, on the other hand, is about hazard prevention. This is dealing with unintentional environmental risks. It's like noticing a leak and mopping up a spill before someone slips and does an accidental gymnastics routine across the lobby. A master officer seamlessly juggles both of these domains at the exact same time.
Which leads us to the ultimate goal of everything we're talking about today. A good officer reacts well to an emergency, but a great officer? They prevent that problem long before the emergency alarm ever rings. You spot the frayed wire before it sparks a fire. You notice the agitated visitor before they start a physical altercation. That prevention is the true hallmark of mastery.
Okay, moving right along to Phase 2, proactive defense. Let's look at the actual tools we use out in the field.
You've got to have this question playing on a continuous loop in your head while you're inspecting any environment. Let's look at a practical example. Picture this. You're on patrol, and you see a loading dock door propped open with a brick, just because a delivery driver wanted some fresh air. If you aren't constantly asking, what could go wrong, you might just walk right past it. But a proactive officer looks at that open door, sees a massive security breach for an unauthorized intrusion, and immediately secures it. So how do we actually spot these things? Well, your eyes and your mind are your very first tools. Situational awareness is basically mapping the baseline of your environment, so you instantly notice when something breaks that baseline. Identifying suspicious behavior in a public area is a prime example of this. If you're guarding a corporate lobby, it is completely normal for people to walk with purpose toward the elevators. But someone pacing back and forth near the restricted server room, avoiding eye contact, that's a huge break in the baseline. The absolute hardest part of this, though, is avoiding complacency. When you've walked the exact same patrol route for 3 years and nothing has happened, your brain naturally wants to switch off. You have to actively fight that instinct every single shift. Here is the crucial point. While physical fitness totally matters for active patrols and physical stamina, your mental readiness is what actually saves the day. Managing the stress of a grueling 12-hour shift, staying hydrated, keeping your mind razor sharp, that's what drives quick, effective decision-making, because a tired, distracted mind is going to miss those warning signs every single time.
But what happens if our proactive defense fails and a confrontation begins? That brings us to Phase 3, verbal judo.
Ekadayo makes a brilliant point here. Your words are literally a weapon, and your tone is the safety switch. Think about it. If a visitor is getting aggressive, meeting their aggression with your own aggression is basically like throwing gasoline on a fire. But a calm, clear, professional tone, that can completely diffuse conflicts before they ever turn physical. You control the temperature of the room simply by controlling your own voice. Mastering the mechanics of this starts with your clear radio protocols. In an emergency, shouting into your radio helps absolutely no one. You need concise updates, something like, "Control, this is post 4. I have an agitated individual at the main entrance requesting a supervisor." Crisp, clear, professional.
When it comes to conflict de-escalation, it is all about calm interaction. Keep your body language open, don't cross your arms, and really use active listening. Usually an angry trespasser or a disgruntled employee just wants to feel heard. By keeping your professional conduct dialed in, you lower their adrenaline and regain control of the room safely. Okay, it's time to put all of this theory into practice. Welcome to Phase 4, the drill. I absolutely love this idea. When a real crisis hits, let's say an active fire breaks out or an aggressive intruder breaches the perimeter, heart rates spike, adrenaline floods your system. In that exact moment, people do not magically invent some brilliant improvised solution. No, you will rely entirely on your standard operating procedures. If your training is weak, your response is going to be weak. Seeing how this builds into an actual incident response framework is super eye-opening. In any emergency simulation, you have 4 rapid-fire steps to execute. Imagine a chemical spill in a restricted lab. Step 1, observe. What are you actually looking at? Is it a tiny puddle or a massive toxic leak? Step 2, assess. What are the immediate risks here? Is anyone hurt? Do we need to evacuate the floor? Step 3, act. Execute your protocol decisively. Pull the alarm, secure the perimeter, deny entry. And finally, step 4, report. Immediately get on that radio and give command a clear, precise breakdown of what's happening. Observe, assess, act, report. When you are right in the thick of a crisis, the noise and the chaos can feel totally overwhelming. But the ultimate goal of following all these rigorous instructions under extreme pressure boils down to 3 very simple sentences. Stay calm, follow procedure, save lives. Your discipline becomes the anchor for everyone else's panic. You survived the drill. Now let's wrap things up with Phase 5, the badge. Beyond just memorizing tactical procedures and radio codes, true security mastery demands a deep, uncompromising commitment to professional ethics. Ask yourself, what do you do during a 3 a.m. night shift when absolutely no one is watching? Do you skip a patrol zone just because your feet hurt? Or do you walk the full perimeter because your discipline demands it? Integrity during those high-pressure or even low-pressure situations and real accountability for your mistakes, that is exactly what separates a rookie from a master. Because at the end of the day, you are given some serious authority. You hold the literal keys to the building. You have access to secure data, sensitive areas, and vulnerable people. Your accountability and your trustworthiness, they are entirely non-negotiable. The second you lose the trust of your team or your client, you lose your ability to be an effective officer. You have to protect your reputation as fiercely as you protect your site. And you know, as you build that trust, you are building your future. If you want to advance from an entry-level post up into senior leadership, you have to view security as a profession, not just a paycheck. That means committing to continuous learning. It means raising your hand for the extra training, getting those advanced certifications in things like first aid, hazard management, or tactical communication. Leadership growth happens when you consistently prove you are prepared, proactive, and professional every single day. As we wrap up this explainer, Ikandio's final challenge really sticks with you. We started off by talking about the trap of just being a warm body in a room. Well, now you've got the blueprint for so much more. So the question you really need to ask yourself heading into your very next shift is this. Are you just going to be present today? Or will you be prepared to spot the baseline, proactive enough to stop hazards before they start, and professional enough to de-escalate the chaos? The choice is entirely yours.